Game publisher CMON typically releases beefy boxes filled with dozens of miniatures and other components, and those games are the result of crowdfunding campaigns that, at the moment, are all waiting to be fulfilled. More than 10 campaigns at the moment being held back by lack of finances in order to fulfill everything. So there's not much coming to retail from CMON at the moment, but more than a year ago, the company had started to diversify its product line and started working on small games, such as Collect, a very tiny game, oink-sized game from Jeremy Ducret and Johannes Guppy. It's a 2 to 5 player card game that is going to debut at Spielessen 25 in October, along with 4 other small titles. So it's a real shift for what CMON is doing, kind of representative of what's happening in the market in general. A lot of move towards smaller games just because they're easier to handle, they're easier to produce, they typically have simpler components, they have a smaller price point, so you can often release them more quickly. I imagine CMON is going to try to do this to pick up funds, to help them work on other projects. They've been selling off things as well, like Zombicide. You can see a link up here. Some other titles. Trying to clear the deck so they get funds to do everything else. Hopefully we get an update on everything in some detail soon. But for now, I can talk about Collect. I've played 4 times on a review copy. Here's how it works. Collect consists of a deck of 64 cards, which is 8 copies each of 8 different animals, as well as 3 half-crown tokens and a whole crown. At the end of each round, whoever wins gets a half-crown. If you get a second half-crown, you've completed the crown and you win the game. But if those go to different players, then in the 4th round, whoever takes the whole crown wins, regardless of what other players have. So everyone can still be in the game at that point. How you play is you shuffle the deck, split it into 2 piles, and on a turn, you are going to reveal the top card of one of the piles, and you can keep it, adding it to your row, or you can put it back on either pile and then draw the top card of whatever you didn't just put back. So you might want the chameleon though, because to win a round, you want to get 4 cards of the same type in a row. And the chameleon can count for any animal. Seems useful. So I draw here, I get a lion. I can take that or put it back. Now the lion, if you have it in your row, gives you an alternate win condition. If you have 7 different types of animals, you win the game. And the chameleon really helps with the lion. It gives you whatever you're missing. So I don't want to put this back and let you take it. I'll go ahead and take the lion. I'll put it this way so you can look at it. You go. A monkey. If you have a monkey and play it in your row, you get to swap that monkey, if you want, with any other card on the table. So maybe you take the monkey, swap it with the lion. Okay. So you got the lion anyway. I get a chameleon. Now, if you have 2 chameleons in front of you, they both go away. That's a card being destroyed symbol. So I can put this back, and I know that you can't take it. I'll take this instead, which is an alligator, and that lets me destroy any card in play. So if you had, right now you have 2 lions, I might want to destroy something. Why not? We'll destroy your lion. We'll leave that chameleon there because you can't take this card. You're going to take an octopus. Again, you could put this back and draw here. And you get a lion again. An octopus, by the way, didn't even talk about what it does. It gives you another alternate victory condition. There's 3 ways to win the round. Get 4 animals of the same type in a row. Get 7 different types of animals while you have a lion in your row. Or if you have an octopus in your row, you can have 3 pairs of animals. So right now you have a pair of lions. They don't all have to be consecutive. These do. They have to be next to one another as a pair, but this does not. So let's say, put this back. I'll take a monkey. Put this here. Now I've got 2 monkeys. I can swap if I want for the chameleon. But I know a chameleon is now sitting here underneath an octopus. Maybe if you take the octopus, I get to take that chameleon and have 3 monkeys and be on the verge of victory. So you might not want to do that. You'll look at this. And now maybe you're going to change your mind. Because the power of the parrot, if you add it to your row, let's say I add it over here. So now I've got a pair of lions and a pair of parrots. If you take the parrot, you name an animal. You turn over the top card of either pile. And if it is that animal, you get it. And you can use its power if it has an active power, like the parrot, monkey, or alligator. So, do you want the octopus? You're going to give me, you'll say octopus, you add it there. You're exposing that chameleon, but now you have 4 types of animals. And you have a pair or a pair here to work towards the octopus. And you just hope that maybe you can destroy one of my cards. Because I will definitely take that chameleon. All right, your turn. You reveal a crab. The power of the crab, if you add it to your row, and let's go ahead and do that, it's useful here, is you take any card in any row and move it left or right any number of spaces. So you can move the alligator there, break up my monkeys. You can move it over here, and now I've got a pair of monkeys and a pair of alligators, which might help if I get an octopus, so maybe you just want to leave it like this. Okay, you have 5 types of animals. I look at this, get a chameleon, do not want. So I'll take the monkey, put it here, and then I'll swap it with any animal. Victory. There you go. A half crown. Now, we haven't even seen all the animals in here. Games can be very fast. You're attacking the other players quite frequently, especially in a 2-player game. 5 players, you don't do it quite that much. All right. I win. I go first for the next round. Do I want a hermit crab? Yeah, now you get to see something different. The power of the hermit crab, if you have a crab in your row, you immediately take another turn. So right now, that does nothing. Let's put that back and take this. I get to destroy a card if I want, but it's not very useful. You go. By George, you'll take that crab because you know it's here. I'm going to reveal this. I can have a crab as well, or I can put it back and take this. All right. You could look at this if you want and then still take the crab because you know it's here. But then that reveals more information. There's little details in the game that can be important like that. It's a very high luck game because, of course, you don't know how these cards are stacked. You can't account for what's coming, the plethora of monkeys that came my way. You go with what you think will work in that moment. So maybe you decide, I'm going to take the other crab. I can try to bury the hermit crab again, or I can say parrot. I can say hermit crab. I'll take it myself. Okay. 4 types. Your turn. You take this. Take another turn immediately. Why not? You want the lion? You can leave it for me, and I'll have 5 types. Or, there you go. Then we got 3 crabs. I want to destroy one. I could take the lion, but that's not going to help me because you could win. All right, take an alligator. And we're going to destroy that. Your turn. Take a parrot, call lion, take that lion, and take it away from me. And I go. Hermit crab can give me a broken pair. Then if I get a crab, I can swap this. Then I'll have 2 pairs together. If I leave it for you, you can just take it. I don't have a crab, though. I don't get another turn. What's the right answer? Don't know. Depends on what else is going to come, and you can't account for that. You're playing the odds. I'm going to lie on myself. Maybe you immediately take the hermit crab. Go again. Take a chameleon. You could put that chameleon back and take something else because you're taking a whole other turn. And now your hermit crab's gone off the screen. But here you are. 3 crabs once again. My turn. Octopus. Not helpful at the moment. Hermit crab. Also not helpful. Your turn. An octopus would not give you the win, but it'd be close because if you took the octopus, you could put it here. You got a pair. You've got a pair. And then you just need another hermit crab or a crab to move this. Maybe you just want to see what's here. Alligator. Doesn't necessarily help. It gives me a pair. I get to destroy something. Maybe you want to take it anyway. I have to overlap all this stuff. Chameleon. Oh, or I can leave it for you because you can't take it. I'll take the octopus. All right, and we continue thusly. You can take this, okay, or not, as you wish. And we're going to keep playing. So we're going to see how this works out over time. I get a pair. I get a pair. Still not working here. Okay, so this comes back, and we're going to continue until someone hits one of these victory conditions. 4 in a row. We're going to have 7 different types of lions. We're going to have 3 pairs. Someone is going to win at some point. You get to this point of inevitability. There's an overview of Collect, which I've played 4 times on a review copy from Simon, twice with 2 players and once each with 3 and 5. And as you can see, the rules are incredibly straightforward. You have 8 animals. You know what they all do at this point. You could teach this game to someone else in a minute and just get playing immediately, teaching animals as they show up from the deck. Or if you wanted to teach them everything, you could do that. Just take a couple of minutes and then you get going. Games are relatively quick. The side of the box is 15 minutes. I've seen that for one of the 2-player games, but the other games have often run longer just because people are trying to figure out what to do and what's important. What animals are they looking for? How can I do things? It's interesting because I find the game very intuitive and straightforward, but I think that's because it's the style of game that I like innovation here in that it's a high luck, high tactics game. You're playing the odds on what's going to come up in the deck, and you just have to respond to what's there. You can't make a long-term plan for what you're going to do. There's no alligator strategy that you're going to go into a round trying to pull that off. I mean, you could, but that's probably not going to work. You just have to go with what's there and adapt and try to get animals to broaden the ways that you can win. You want to make yourself the threat at the table that other people have to respond to. You don't want to be the one that's responding to the threat because often that's not helping you move towards victory. You might just want to play the odds and hope that the other person doesn't get the card that they need or cards because every time they need one particular card, usually they can win with the chameleon as well, unless they already have one. But it's often 1 or 2 cards that's going to win them the game, and the odds are against that. So maybe you just focus on yourself. In a 2-player game, that happens less because it's just you or the other player who's going to win. But in a game with more people, often you just focus on yourself and hope that someone doesn't win. And if they do win, you're going to target them now with everything. Because if they win again, they win the whole game. So every alligator is going at that person. Every monkey, every crab. You're just trying to take everything they want. And often everyone is doing that because they're all in the same situation. That player cannot win. If they do, that's it. So we're just going to hammer them repeatedly. And it can feel unfair, but you know that whoever is in that situation is going to be attacked that way. That's the type of game that it is. You're just gunning for people wrecking their stuff and they're trying to wreck yours. And then someone else is going to win, and now there's 2 people you have to target. And then someone else might win, there's 3 people you have to target. And you're just trying to outlast all that until you have a chance in that final round. So the luck runs through the cards that you're getting, but also kind of the game as a whole, because you can win the game without winning anything else, just outlasting people and managing to put something together in that 4th round. I dig high luck games like that. I like having things randomly thrown at you and having to adapt to that, having to figure out how to do things. And again, the powers of the animals aren't earth-shattering. They're not something that's really just going to have a huge impact, except that it does in the sense that the game is so simple that any little thing helps. So the alligator takes out a card. Now the opponent needs a 3rd and a 4th again, rather than just the 4th. The crab splits something up. Now they can't win with the octopus, etc. It's straightforward and fun. I like the style of the game, but I found a lot of people just take a while to get it. They don't just roll with it the way I do, where I just flip something, go, flip something, go, flip something, go. I mean, I'm often looking at the cards I have, and I'm just like, okay, if I get this, I want it. If I get that, I want it. It's going to go there, and this is when I'm going to switch. So I have a few options already in mind. One of those comes up, there, run with it. If not, it's off a card I don't want anyway, so put it back and hope to get something else. You just adapt and go from there. So that's an overview of Collect.